What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am going to do the most requested, by far the most requested song that people have asked me to review from a Christian perspective. And so let's go through this right now. Tom MacDonald, Fake Woke. I have not listened to this, and this is how I'm going to do these going forward, is I'm not going to actually listen. So you will get my honest reaction. Let's see what this is all about. It must be really good if it was by far the most requested. So let's see. Here we go.
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for.
I think it's interesting how he's the one who's controversial when Cardi B talks about all this stuff. What do you think about that? So I couldn't disagree, right?
It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump.
Ooh. So he said, he's talking about Eminem used to gay bash, and you know, it's funny what's happened to the left. You don't have to be left or right or anywhere. I I did a video on tribalism. So in general, I'm not for either one. I'm more. I can tell you this for damn sure. I sure the hell ain't voting for no damn Democrat right now. There ain't no damn way. I don't think I've ever voted for a Democrat in my life. But you got to watch out for the Republicans too. I mean, I'll leave it at that. But you know, it's funny how what was considered left is now so extreme. Like Elon Musk had that really good meme or that picture where he was like, hey, I've stayed right here. The left was right here. It's like I was in the center. And now the left has moved so far over. Now, if you were to center it, I'm actually considered right. But he's like, I haven't changed my beliefs, you know? And it's crazy. Eminem has, obviously, you know? And to be in that world because of all the money and fame and everything, and cancel culture and stuff. I mean, what choice do you have? You know, so I don't know.
Be American. You should probably love it because you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public. As children, we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up.
Walk and talk. You should probably be proud to be an American. I mean, I don't know how. I'm gonna let this play a little bit just because of the algorithm. But I don't know how you could listen to this, be an American, and not think that there's something legitimate here. I'm actually trying to comprehend like how you could be, I mean, you may not like his style, you may not like the tattoos, you may not like his drug past, you may not like a lot of things, but in terms of what he's saying, how could you be against being more American? Standing up instead of sitting down and shutting up, you know, having musicians who talk about things that are real versus, you know, things that are so extreme that they're implanting thoughts into our kids' head at a very young age. I mean, your kids are just sitting there listening to that, man. They're just being programmed. They're being programmed. It's indoctrination. They're just being programmed. If you don't think that's real, think about the music you listen to is a reflection of your lifestyle. So the question is, did the cart come before the horse, or what is the cart and what is the horse? Because studies show, research shows, I'm telling you, you can look up all this stuff. All this stuff is very widely known. If you listen to rap music long enough, you will start talking like that. You will start using that slang. You will start thinking like that. You'll be more, this is physically, it's statistically true. You'll be more likely to commit violence, to consider violence. It's just facts. It's not politics.
If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got me too, or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change. They gave us tiny screens. We think we free because we can't see the cage.
That's a cold verse. That's a cold verse. They didn't free the slaves. I don't know what I think about that, but let me go back on that. That was like, hold on, man. We got to hear that again. Okay, hold on.
If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association.
Guilty by association. Then he says, me too. Okay. So hashtag me too, hashtag believe all women. I don't believe all women. I don't believe all men. I don't believe all white people. I don't believe all black people. I don't believe all nobody. I mean, isn't that common sense? Like, why is this considered controversial? You know, I don't know. I don't see anything controversial. What's controversial is he's talking against an elite group of people who happen to own some very key nodes of society, who are making you think, trying to make you think that everyone thinks this, don't you? But you know how you think. And part of the reason why we're doing this channel is to continue to push self-reliance, self-awareness, right? That just because a pastor says something doesn't mean it has anything to do with the Bible. To think that a pastor in some way is different than you is idolism. You know, and it's tribalism. This is what it is. It's, you know, you're just going to follow the tribe and do whatever. Excuse me. Research shows this is why the Indians got wiped out, is because they followed what they had always done. We have always been like this. They never evolved. They never advanced, and they didn't have any innovation, you know? And so the people who just follow the leader, you eventually get put into camps, whether you're the Indians. Now, you may assimilate into society, but everything that you once knew is gone. So you may be lucky enough to have been born in that 200-year period or whatever, and you're one of the 26% of people who are lucky enough to be born in America. There's not a high likelihood that you're born in America. But if you were, or if you're an American now, you know, do you care? Do you care? Do you know that people gave their lives to create this country so that you can actually be a part of the damn conversation, so that you can actually be able to go on your keyboard right now and type some smart aleck result and not get hauled off into prison, which you can't do in China and a bunch of other places. It's crazy. So, okay, let's keep going here.
Facts, but they fake woke, hate their neighbor because he wears a mask or he stays home, has a daughter, but his favorite artist said he slays hoes.
Okay, like for real, like how are you gonna hate somebody because they're wearing a mask or not? Like I've never in my life owned a mask, not one. Never bought one. Had to buy it for my kids because there was a certain time where they had to wear them. You know what? I shouldn't say that. I bought N95s. I shouldn't say that. I bought N95s at the very beginning of this thing before it was a priority, before anybody said anything. When I was first hearing the stuff going down in China and stuff like that and around the world. So I was prepared. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Self-reliance, right? This is also when they were saying, no, don't go out and buy masks, because they didn't want to rush on masks. See, this is the thing, guys. If you're just going to be that person who's just going to follow the leader and just do whatever somebody says, whatever your boss says, they must be smarter than you. They're your boss. That there's nothing further from the truth. I'm not saying be a moron and, like, you know, get in a conflict with your boss all the time. That's not going to help you either. But I'm saying that mindset that just because someone's over you, they must be smarter than you. They must have went to the school of smart people. And you know what? They must actually live in the city of smart people. And we live in the city of dumb people who are followers. I mean, that's pretty much how people act nowadays. It's crazy. You know, so what I'm saying here is I see people wear masks. I'm in Texas. It's very rare. It's super rare. Like even in the past year, it's super rare that you would see somebody wear a mask. Now you go into downtown and you go into Austin, man, people are wearing masks like it's crazy. Okay. But here's the thing. Their rates of that virus is no different than ours. That's the only logic I need. Okay. Their rates, their death is no different. Okay. You go to states like California, the most masked up areas, the most masked up places, their rates are fundamentally no different, guys. If all this stuff really works, if all that stuff really worked, well, I mean, think about measles. Think about, you know what I'm saying? Like Like, we have almost fundamentally gotten rid of some of these major diseases that kill 10, 15, 20% of people through the shots. So if this thing actually worked, you know what I'm saying? The reality is it's not. It's a therapeutic. That's what it is. It's like taking Tylenol. It's a symptom reducer. It's a therapeutic. It's not a blocker. That's why they had to go change dictionary.com and all these things. That's how, guys, that's how you know you're close to communism. I mean, come on, for real. Anyway, sorry, I'm on my high horse there.
Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home. Censorship's an issue because they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name.
Whoo! There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. Wow. I mean, if you disagree with someone, why is it hate speech? You know? You remember the Hunter Biden laptop? Now the FBI acknowledges it, everyone. Well, when that story first broke, all of social media banned, at least all the big ones, Twitter and Facebook, banned that story from being talked about at all. People lost followers, they lost accounts, they had their things frozen. Those posts were deleted. And it was called Russia collusion, Russian disinformation. We know now that that's not true. So was it hate speech? Anytime somebody calls something hate speech now, you should be wondering what's going on, because if you're using that phrase, you fundamentally know that person is a part of pushing propaganda, you know?
With the system screwing everyone exactly the same, I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food in my family.
Okay, so he said he hates the name BLM when the system treats everyone one and the same. So I'll just say this, you know, I know that there are some issues out there amongst races, and I make no, I don't hide that at all. If you don't think that, I'm not going as far as to say that it's systemic. It's individualized for sure, but it's not systemic. Systemic means the system is pushing it, and I don't know how that could be. You know, when like I had this debate with somebody. We did a video on this that I had this debate with a Black lady in the middle of a coffee shop in front of everybody, in front of all the employees. Really, there's no one there, but what I told her was, ma'am, the fact that you and I are having this conversation, an Asian and a Black person in the middle of a coffee shop in public, and that we just used the same uni bathroom, which was gross, is all that you need to know. That this country has been fighting for what is right. Because she told me that, you know, when she went to school, and she was my age, she said she went to a segregated school where Black people sat on one side of the class, white people sat on the other. Now, I don't know if it was segregated by law, which is systemic, or it was systemic as in it was the teachers made people do that. That's systemic. But if the students just said, hey, we're Black, we're going to sit in one area, we're white, we're going to sit in the other area, that's not systemic. That's people being morons. So I told her, I said, even if that's true, ma'am, I said, number one, I apologize for that. But even if that is true, the fact that you and I are sitting in the same place, drinking from the same water fountain, going to the same bathroom is all the proof that you need in your lifetime, that this is the greatest country that has ever existed. And you should be waving that American flag like never before in your life and talking about where we have come from and how going back to that is stupid. But instead, you who have a good job, who drive a nice car, who can say whatever you want more than ever before, are pretending as if every single time somebody treats you wrong that that's systemically racism. No, there's just a lot of not nice people. And you wouldn't know that unless you were every color. You know, if the waiter treats me wrong, I don't think it's racism. And the reality is what she was saying is she does. If somebody cuts her off on the street, she thinks it's racism. Now, that's not to say that there isn't a couple morons out there who will cut you off because they don't like that you're black, but who cares? There's people that will cut me off. They don't like that I drive a big truck. Doesn't mean they're racist against half Korean, half Italians. Anyway.
Being accused of celebrating native casualties. We got so divided, it's black and white and political. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal.
He's talking about tribalism there. Fully agree. Okay. Fully agree. And once again, guys, if you get tied down in the mainstream narratives, I'm sorry, but your IQ has to be low. The reality is there's not that many high IQ people in the world. This is statistically known, okay, by schools and all this stuff the data shows. But people struggle with what's called normalcy bias ridiculously in the world now. Ridiculously, where, oh, well, they're doing that. Okay, well, it must be true. It's weird. And he's just telling you the truth, it sounds like, I mean, and you might go, well, I don't agree. Why do you say what he says is truth? Well, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. And if you're going to go down that avenue of like, well, there is no truth, everything is relative, well, then why are you telling me that as a truth? The fact that someone would say there is no truth is in self-incriminating. If you have any idea about philosophy, like the philosophy that I could make a truth statement and then say truth is not true is itself more like you would. I'm serious. Like your IQ has to be low to think that. I'm sorry.
To work, order food and call the cops. See what reaches you first. Segregation ended. That's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help. They knew that racism was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves.
Ooh. I don't know. What do you think about that one? You learn from human beings. You tend to change your story and your thinking sometimes when you hear someone else or talk to someone else. When you get behind a keyboard, oh man, we got the most crazy keyboard activists ever, right? Like there's people who jump online and they'll be so bold and they'll try to sound so sophisticated and all this stuff, dude. They get into the real world. Number one, almost all of them won't say a peep. All right, here we go.
It isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase. But you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him crazy. Say it silent.
Sounds like a little emotion to me there. He's venting a little bit. I'm turning on a fan just because it's getting a little hot in here. But I don't know. That's what I would say on that part. It's my thought.
When countries going crazy, we accept it as society. Get sick and take a pill when the side effects get you high. You get addicted like these rappers dying, fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is.
I hope you understand that. If you know somebody who's for censorship, which the reality is, and the studies show, there's not very many people in the world. You're talking like 10, 12%. Okay. I don't know if you know this, but Twitter is the quote unquote marketplace of ideas, or that's what it's marketed as. I don't know if you know this, but look at the statistical data. Okay. 92% of posts, of all posts, replies, engagement, everything that you see, okay, 92% is made by 10% of the population. And it's elites, it's politicians, it's movie stars, it's, you know what I mean? It's not the place where the average Joe Schmo goes. It's news anchors, you know what I'm saying? Those are the people that are on Twitter. So I'm just saying Twitter has very little relevance to the real world, but it's reported on because reporters use it and politicians and businesses, big CEOs, and it's reported on as this is where all the ideas are happening, but it doesn't represent what normal people think.
Information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change amen to amen and women. How do we let them make praying a microaggression instead of asking God?
I mean, do I even need to go into that one? That's got to be one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. That guy who prayed, I think it was in Congress or whatever, and he said, "An amen and a woman." It's like, dude, amen doesn't mean a man. It means amen. It's a Latin word. It's a word. It doesn't mean men. Anyway. But you see, that's how they're trying to program you. They're trying to program you to think anytime you see that word men or man, we've got to demasculate, man. We've got to make men feel like they're less. Maybe that's one of the reasons why 40 police officers stand outside of school, why 18-year-old is in there just blasting kids away. And all these men are sitting there completely demasculated, got no damn balls. They got AR-15s, but no balls.
For the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead, and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to be the most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die.
That's cold. That's a cold verse. I'm not even gonna repeat that. I'm not gonna repeat that. My apologies, ladies. That's a cold verse. But feminism, man, it's creeped into the church. The most righteous people you know will turn feminist on you in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Not all of them, and I definitely know there's a lot of women who are true against it. You know, I don't want to say who, but I know women very close to me who had blogs and videos who are so anti-feminine and all this stuff. The moment something got difficult, oh my God, they became the biggest, like, you know, they're using their beauty to get ahead. They're using their beauty to make, you know, to twist the minds of people. They're trying to do things that would make it seem like somebody's beating them up or whatever. Like, I mean, you know, and then they're going into like emotional abuse and all this stuff, and they don't even realize like things that they've, I mean, it's like, dude, and I'm not trying to say that there isn't. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely not saying that there isn't a lot of stupid dudes who do stupid things to women. And that is a problem, guys. That is a problem. This feminine thing, man, is a cancer. It is a cancer. And the most, you know, righteous person that you might think of will struggle to do the right, will struggle to do the right thing when times get tough. And I'm telling you, that is real character. That is real godliness. So you like this, let me know what you think. That was a review of Fake Woke. So let me know. Appreciate you guys. You let me know. Talk soon. I'll be here every day for you guys. Every day. Check the news feed. Check the video feed. I'll be here. Talk to you soon.